He spent the grocery money on smokes and drinks instead of feeding us, so I made sure it wouldn't happen again. Am I the 𝗙𝗪 for kicking out my dad after he said he couldn't afford to feed me anymore?
Plus, update.
Throwaway. Here's the backstory. 28M. Got my own house now. Moved out at 18. Not really by choice. My dad basically pushed me out. Our relationship's been rocky since then. He's always been a huge drinker and smoker, which caused plenty of issues back then. Fast forward, he lost his house a couple of months ago, didn't keep up with loan payments. So he calls me up, says he needs a place to stay while he gets back on his feet. I laid out a few ground rules, either pay rent, $400, or cover groceries, about $250 to $300, and absolutely no smoking in the house. He laughs, says,
"I'm your father, I shouldn't have to pay."
But I don't budge, so he reluctantly agrees to buy groceries. From the moment he moves in, it's just one problem after another. He leaves a mess everywhere, doesn't clean up, smokes inside despite how clear I made it that it was a no-go, and drinks like there's no tomorrow. Then, one day, I have a girl over, and he just has this meltdown over it. So I tell him, listen, if you can't respect my space, you'll have to find somewhere else to stay. Things settle for a bit, but last week, he hits me with,
"I don't have the money to buy groceries this month."
I'm like, why? He says,
"Well, you eat a lot."
And admits he spent all his cash on smokes and drinks. That was it for me. I was done with him acting like he owned the place, done with the flashbacks to dealing with him as a teen. I told him to pack up and leave. So, am I the 𝗙𝗪? I set clear boundaries, he didn't follow through. Edit. I never thought my post would garner so many reactions. I'm glad I'm not the 𝗙𝗪, and thank you all for your support. I'd like to clear out a few things. 1. No, we didn't have a formal contract when he moved in. It was oral based. Kicking him out won't be easy, as police don't tend to offer much support to a son in relation to the father. The societal response is that a son should take care of his old parents. 2. This was one of the reasons I agreed to take him in. Like if I could do something good for him, maybe he'd change his view about me. The feeling of being validated by my own dad after years of neglect was strong, not gonna lie. I see now how foolish it was to take him in. 3. How would I get him out if he refuses to leave? He would go out to buy his supplies. I'd change locks the moment he leaves, and go out too. If he breaks anything, then it's cop time. Update. He moved out today. Sorry to disappoint y'all, but the process was surprisingly peaceful. The day of the last post, my dad told me he needed to talk. I braced myself. What he said was totally unexpected and welcome for me. He said that he couldn't bear the disrespect I've shown him, and he was never going to contact me again. His words,
"You failed me as a son."
I told him if he needed help in the future he could contact me, but he must abide by some conditions. He scoffed and said he was leaving soon and didn't talk to me again. He left today. As I said earlier in the first post, he had little to pack, and had most of his possessions in storage. He didn't tell me where he was going, and didn't bid adieu. Not gonna lie, I was comfortable with it. A toxic part of my life was being erased. I'm feeling a different kind of freedom, which I haven't felt even after I left home. Where he goes now is none of my concern, although I would have liked to at least know where he's going. Oh well, this is the update. Maybe a bit disappointing for the sub, but I personally am very relieved how this played out. Thank you all for the advice and all the responses. This meant a lot. Back to lurking with my main account. Peace.